Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a post-fact world. It's hard to overstate this fact, if it is indeed a fact, and it couldn't be more true if it is true of the so-called country of Finland, or Finland. Inhabited by so-called Finns, this is supposed to be a landmass between Sweden and Russia, whose capital is Helsinki. From my investigations, I found a source that you can find here, which tells a different story. I'll be speaking to Henroki, who is a self-proclaimed Finn, who comes from the island of Åland. The country of Finland was in fact created by an agreement between the Soviet Union and Japan. They signed a secret trade deal before World War II broke out, whereby the Soviet Union would allow Japan to fish in the Finnish Sea, which is the area where Finland is supposed to be, and fish large amounts of fish, of course, because fishing regulations don't apply to solid land. This fish and the products would be then transported across the Trans-Siberian Railway, which was built at the end of the 19th century, and across Asia all the way into Japan. The company in charge of these operations is Nokia, which is one of Finland's largest companies. One of the countries that Nokia sells the most products to is Japan. It's a telling fact that despite being nominal enemies, the Soviet Union and Japan had very few confrontations directly during World War II. In fact, they signed a peace treaty in 1941, just before Germany invaded the Soviet Union. In order not to upset the Soviet Union and escalate the conflict further during the Cold War, most countries went along with this farce. Now, most people who are called Finns, the story goes, are actually people who come from the eastern parts of Sweden and some regions of the Baltic states and the western parts of Russia. I also have some pieces of evidence that I found myself. If you have a quick look on Google Maps, of all places, you'll find that between Sweden and Russia there is a sea. And the name of it is right there, it's the Finnish Sea. I'll leave you with one last piece of information. Have a look at the flag of Norway. As you can see here, the flag of Norway looks very much like the flag of the Soviet Union with a Finnish flag embedded within it. I think this is more than just a coincidence. I think that Norway is trying to tell us something, and we should listen. Henroki has tried to persuade me that Finland does indeed exist. Have a look.
Hello everyone, I am Henroki Mattinpoika, and I'm Associate Travel Chronicle.
So what did you think about the information I sent over?
Well, I'm astonished, of course.
Right.
I don't know quite what to think of it, and who are these people? And my first immediate thought is to sort of juxtapose the position that, are they real?
You're talking about the people who are discussing or bringing forward the evidence that Finland isn't actually a real country.
Yes.
We might already be at an impasse, Henroki, because I think that there is plenty of. I think a lot of that evidence is valid. I mean, you would consider yourself a Finn, is that right?
Yes, very much so. Yes.
So where are you from exactly?
I'm from the Åland Islands, southwesternmost region of Finland,
right,
an autonomous region of Finland.
So those islands are not on the main supposed landmass of Finland, is that right?
That's right. I think that if you were to examine evidence from maps and so on, you will find that the islands and the cluster of islands have, due to plate tectonics, drifted out and positioned itself really nicely in the middle of the Baltic Sea.
Have you been to the landmass?
Yes, I have. I have many times. Yes, right. I have traveled the entire length of that landmass from the islands in the southwest via Nordendal and Turku, two of the main ports on the western seaboard, up through the length of the country to the border town of Ivalo in the northeast. And I've even crossed the border there to what was then known as the Soviet Union.
How did you initially get into the landmass? How did you travel there?
Via ferry.
Via ferry. And
yeah.
I take it that you didn't have a particular way to track whether you were indeed traveling into the supposed landmass and not, say, towards the Baltic states, so Estonia, Lithuania, etc.
Not per se. I took it as evidence that I had arrived in mainland Finland when I entered through customs and immigration at the port of Naantali, as it's called, Nordendal.
I take it you speak Finnish?
Somewhat poorly, I will admit.
So what actually is your main language?
Swedish.
Right, so you don't actually speak Finnish?
I know the essential words. Lihapiirakka, nakit, herätyskello, perkele.
Do you know, have you got people that you know who come from, say, Helsinki or anywhere on the land?
I have met people from there, yes. I have friends that live there at this present moment as well. Peter and his wife, for instance.
Okay, and you know for sure that they live there, or is it just something that they tell you?
I actually never visited their home, but they do say that they live in Helsinki, yes.
Right. Who do you work for? Are you a freelance, or do you work for a specific company?
I do work for a specific company. However, I'm at this point reluctant to disclose the name of that company.
Wait, is it Nokia? Do you work for Nokia?
No, I don't work for Nokia. I work for a writing organization. I am an associate content provider. And I think, with regards to my employment and the nature of my employer, this is as far as I can go. But I guarantee you that it's all above board. I have much more evidence. Bear with me. I will reach into my bag. I have here a copy of Tuntematon Sotilas, Unknown Soldier, from famed Finnish writer Väinö Linna, chronicling the difficulties of the Finnish soldier during the war against Soviet.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else?
Yes.
I wouldn't say that would be conclusive. I mean, it's easy to fabricate such evidence.
How can this... I think by the time I have presented my full body of physical evidence, we will be in a different position.
Okay.
I have here a copy of the book De hängda rävarnas skog by comic writer Arto Pasilina.
I've never heard of him.
He's very popular, I will say. Everyone knows him. I have here. I don't know if you can see.
What's that? What is it?
This is a twig from a tree from Finland. It's interesting. I don't know if you can see how the fibers are structured in one way at the root. However, the branches and the fibers go off in a different way. This is a testament
and you got this in Finland during your travels?
Yes, from the islands actually. But yes, they are in Finland. Yeah.
From the islands, though, you said?
Yes, from the islands, yeah.
Which islands?
The Åland Islands.
The ones where people speak Swedish?
Yes. Okay, I have two more pieces of evidence, if I may.
Yeah. Please continue.
And hopefully this will ultimately sway anyone in doubts. I present to you... bear with me. a Finnish passport?
Suomi,
Finland.
how can I know this isn't a forgery, Henrique?
Yes, of course. Well, that brings me to my ultimate piece of evidence. This is a photograph of my parents.
Okay, but they also live in Åland.
Yes, they live on the islands, and this photograph is taken in the archipelago.
Not on mainland.
Not on mainland. I have, aside from the passport, which was actually issued at the embassy, Finnish embassy in London, I have no physical evidence from the actual mainland.
Now, I didn't find this evidence very persuasive, but I'll let you decide on the matter. Please don't normalise Finland. In other news, Belgium also doesn't exist. Have a look at this.
You appear to have a loathing for the very concept of the existence of nation states. Perhaps that's because you come from Belgium, which of course is pretty much a non-country. Let's just remember that you yourself, as Belgian Prime Minister, didn't even know your own national anthem. You famously said, back in 2006, that it was only beer and football that held the country together.
I suspect that Belgium, the creation of Belgium, was part of a proxy war between Germany and France. They have been long-term rivals, and Germany, I think, is trying to claim the area of Belgium. And as you can see here, if you rotate the Belgian flag by 90 degrees to the right, and you swap out the yellow and the red bits, it's startlingly similar to the German flag. If you go to the Wikipedia page for Belgium, you'll find that the official language is not a single language called Belgian, which doesn't actually exist, but it is 3 languages: Dutch, French, and German. If you go to Google Maps once again, you'll find that the area that's meant to be occupied by Belgium is actually the intersection of 3 countries: France, Germany, and the Netherlands. Brussels, which is supposed to be the capital of Belgium, is divided in 3 parts. A wall runs across the French quarter, or third, I guess, the Dutch quarter, and the EU-occupied German quarter. Now, I say in the words of Ronald Reagan, Ms. Merkel, tear down that wall. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.